Merrill Reese and Mike Quick calling all the play-by-play action.
Here comes the rush. They've got him. Sack number one. Hassan Reddick. Wow.
Philadelphia Eagles football on 97.3 ESPN is brought to you by
the D'Amato Law Firm, the Piccalilli Inn, First Bank of Sea Isle, EMT Solar and Roofing, Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union, Jenkins Plumbing and Heating, GMS Law, Cape Regional Health System, Sun Valley Pool, BMW of Atlantic City, Boardwalk Honda, and Clark's Moving and Storage.
This is where the Philadelphia Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's official Eagles station.
97.3 ESPN FM is your official home in South Jersey for Eagles football.
South Jersey's play-by-play home for the Eagles.
Touchdown!
Sixers.
It's good!
And Flyers.
Oh, big save by Carter Hart.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios.
What a move!
Here's Josh Hennig.
Well, on Monday, I didn't think I'd be this happy for it to be Friday, but apparently it is Friday, and I am over the moon grateful to be here because this has been a long week. It's been a lot of, just to pull the curtain pull the curtain back. It's been a long week. You're trying to juggle everything, trying to make everything work. And my own father says to me that he goes, you spend a lot of time talking about things that are not just the matchups of the games. And I was like, dude, you know how much stuff I got to do? Like we got Mike Gill's show for 4 hours. Then I'm on. We got Billy Schweim on the weekend. We can't just repeat the same things again and again. But yes, it is a football Friday, which means that we have Andy McNamara back. He's going to join us in less than 30 minutes. You're going to hear in about 15 minutes from Bob Ibach, a great opportunity for you to get some Super Bowl memorabilia and support Eagles charities and their all the great work that they do. So all that coming up this hour. But I will start with this. I'm going to give my keys to the game officially a little bit later in the hour. But I want to look back on last night because, the stat that's out there that I think is interesting is Patrick Mahomes won the MVP last night, and Jalen Hurts came in second place. And there is a streak going on right now that since the turn of the century, every player who plays in the Super Bowl, who won the MVP the same season, all lost the game. Now, for your average Eagle fan, they're going to say it's a good thing that Mahomes won last night because of this streak going on. But I'm here to tell you that it's more than just some jinx or some random coincidence. See, the problem is that the MVP is a regular season award. And you look at the seasons that the players won their MVP. In many ways, they won the MVP and they had such a great season that when it got to the biggest game of the year, the other team hyper-focused on stopping or slowing down that player. By the way, the full list as compiled by ESPN Stats and Info, 2001, Kurt Warner won the won the MVP, lost to the Patriots, Adam Vinatieri. They slowed down the greatest show on turf in the biggest game. 2002, Rich Gannon won the MVP. Tampa Bay Bucks are one of the best defenses of NFL history. They shut down the Raiders offense. 2005, Sean Alexander won the MVP. As a running back, he got shut down in the biggest game of the year. Tom Brady, 2007, one of the biggest, most prolific passing seasons in NFL history. What happened? The Giants did an amazing job in that game. Steve Spagnuolo was the Giants coordinator that season. He is the Chiefs coordinator this year. Keep that in the back of your mind for later when we get to the keys of the game. Peyton Manning won an MVP in 2009 and 2013 in both seasons. They get to the biggest game, and the defenses shut them down. Obviously, we know about the Legion of Boom versus the Broncos. And people forget how good that Saints defense was over a decade ago when Sean Payton and Drew Brees won that championship. Cam Newton, I mean, we knew how good the Broncos defense was and how limited Cam Newton in that offense was. Matt Ryan, one of the biggest choke jobs in Super Bowl history, losing to the Patriots. And then Tom Brady in 2017, prolific season, but his team wasn't really the greatest team of all time. We saw that how Nick Foles and the Eagles offense slice and dice them up and down the field. So realistically, at the end of the day, the reason why these guys lose as often as they do in the biggest games, because the regular season, you don't have 2 weeks to prepare and put yourself in a position to be successful. In the regular season, you can have a great player or a great season carry you through, but in the biggest game of the year, other players have to step up. And there's a reason, a good reason, why randos like Marcus Smith have won Super Bowl MVPs. It's because in the biggest game, it's not always about the best player. It's about the best team. And to me, like I said, I'll give you my keys to the game a little bit later in the hour. And you can chime in as well at 609-403-0973 on the text board and your DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank CL. To me, you can talk all you want about Mahomes and Hurts and all these different individuals. Football is a team championship. And the fact that we live in a world that people will not accept that, acknowledge that, admit to that, and they instead hyper-focus on the quarterback like he's a point guard or a scoring guard in basketball or that he's a goaltender in hockey, to me is one of the most ridiculous things in the world. If you can't see that the best team wins the championship each year, then you lost your marbles somewhere along the way. And I think that's the biggest thing on Sunday night. When you hear the game right here with Kevin Harlan and Kurt Warner right here on 97.3 ESPN FM, this Sunday, you're home for the Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, and Flyers, and Super Bowl 57. When you listen to the game this Sunday and you hear Kevin Harlan call this game, it's going to be the team that comes out and execute and does their job best. That's the team that's going to win. And that's why all week I've been telling you guys I'm leaning Eagles. I'll give you my keys to the game a little bit later this hour. Don't forget still to come Andy McNamara at 6:30 tonight. But coming up next, an opportunity for you to get Super Bowl memorabilia and support Eagles charities next here on GameNight on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig hanging out with you on a Friday night, 6:10. Here till 7 o'clock. Sixers basketball tonight on 97.3 ESPN.
It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey tomorrow on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app with Tim Saunders and Steve Coates calling all the play-by-play action.
He's in the right circle. He scores! On the power play.
It's Flyers Predators tomorrow. Coverage begins at 12:30. It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey on the radio home of the Flyers in South Jersey. 97.3 ESPN.
Hey, what's with the red, white, and blue tux?
I'm Uncle Sam.
Oh, that explains the hat.
Yes, people seem to love that.
So, what brings you to Springfield, Sam? Springfield Mitsubishi in Atlantic City.
Taxes, madam. I want you.
To put my tax refund in the bank.
Oh, you're not spending it on a car?
Oh, I'm getting a new car. But all you need is a dime. One dime down at Springfield Mitsubishi, Atlantic City.
A dime? What a novel idea.
Ake is a brand new Mitsubishi's from 17.5.
17.5 for a new car?
Yeah, and you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty with as low as 2.9% financing.
2.9%.
Plus, if you bring home $350 a week, you can get up to $25,000 in credit.
Okay, I want you to put one dime down.
At the all-new Springfield Mitsubishi, Atlantic City.
In Pleasantville.
They service all makes and models. Springfield Mitsubishi AC.com.
Can I have my hat back?
New 23 Mirage, 17.5, dime down, $277 a month for 75 months at 5.55% APR plus tax title to qualified buyers.
Hey, folks, it's JR from JRWins.com. And guys, couldn't be more excited about the big game. Number 57 on Sunday. Kansas City taking on Philadelphia. The line is 1.5, and the line's not even close to what the outcome of this game is going to be. And we're going to leave you this huge blowout winner right now, absolutely free on a 30-second recorded message. Call this number and get it for free. 800-499-3733. That's 800-499-3733. Call now, 800-499-3733. The point spread winner of the Chiefs-Eagles, absolutely free right now, guys, sitting on a 30-second message, and I'm telling you, this one is a blowout. Call now, 800-499-3733. Arm yourself with the most razor-sharp information this year. 800-499-3733 and visit jrwins.com.
Hi, New Jersey. This is Larry Steitler, founder of East Coast Roofing, Siding, and Windows, your local exterior contractor for over 40 years. Home improvements can't always wait till the weather gets warmer. But don't worry about our team. We have long johns and we'll wear them. Trust us with your family and home this winter. Schedule your consultation today by calling 609-262-2004 or visit us at eastcoastroofing.com. And remember, if you'll call, we'll show up.
Trust us with your family and home.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
At Ocean First Bank, our first thought is you. We put you first in all we do. Community banking for a century. We treat you like your family. Whatever you need, whatever you dream, let's make it a reality. Ocean First Bank, putting you first.
Start the year off with a CD rate that, well, rates. For a limited time, we're offering a 13-month term for 4.5% APY with as little as $10,000. Don't delay. Visit oceanfirst.com for complete details.
Whatever you need, whatever you dream, let's make it a reality. Ocean First Bank, putting you first.
Certain rules and restrictions apply. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
With GMF financing to qualified buyers excludes Corvette. Why would anybody pay sticker or even above sticker when Bennett Chevy is selling new Chevys at GM supplier employee pricing? Think about how much you'll save at Bennett Chevy. While most other dealers are still charging MSRP and above, Bennett Chevy isn't like most dealers, selling new Chevys at GM supplier employee pricing and not a penny more. You'll enjoy a hassle-free discount along with a simpler buying experience. But that's just the beginning. You'll save even more with available 2.99% financing. 2.99%! That's unheard of in today's market. Looking for used? The good news continues. Bring us the worst clunker and get a guaranteed $8,500 towards any pre-owned in stock. That's at least $8,500 for total junk. Imagine how much more we'll pay for a good trade. And dealing with our non-commissioned sales staff is another hassle-free, delightful experience because they're paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. Find new roads at Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
And speaking of the Eagles in the Super Bowl, you know, one of the coolest things about when your team goes to the big game is getting a piece of that memory for you as a fan, for your man cave, for your friend, for your family, whatever the situation is. And it's ironic because we just talked to Bob Ibach a few months ago when the Phillies were in the World Series, and all of a sudden now the Eagles are in the Super Bowl, and he has another great opportunity thanks to him and his people. It's a great opportunity from Nyko Sports Memorabilia and Bob Ibach joining us for you to get something special because the Eagles are in the Super Bowl again 5 years after their first win. Bob, welcome back in. I'm sure that you're happy to be talking to us, but for the Phillies to be in the World Series and the Eagles to be in the Super Bowl, it's almost like it's Paradise City, man.
I'll tell you, Josh, I was thinking about that before I called in today, and it reflects back in my own memories when I was sports editor of a newspaper in Philadelphia in the late 1970s, early 1980s, the old Philly Journal. And I remember in 1980, one of the highlights of my sports career, which goes on back, about 40 years now, I've been to 20 of these Super Bowl games, was in 1980, all four major teams got to their championship games. I mean, the Phillies went out and beat Kansas City that year for Dallas Green, who later brought me to Chicago with him, with the Chicago Cubs. And I remember the Eagles going ahead and playing against Oakland in the Super Bowl. And you had the 76ers going up against Magic Johnson and the Lakers. And, of course, I remember very well the Flyers. Unfortunately, they lost to the Islanders, but all four teams were in the finals. So, my heart is really in Philadelphia. And just amazing to see the Birds back in this thing 5 years later, going up against Kansas City, coming up on Sunday out in Arizona. And for those people who don't want to spend $15,000 to say $30,000 for tickets, which I know I don't, I've got something for you for $119 that you'll get a memory of this game and the entire season for the Eagles, which has just been amazing. And it's also going to benefit a great charity for the Eagles Autism Foundation, which has raised a lot of money for autism in your area. Now, the footballs that I'm talking about is full size. They're an official Super Bowl football, which also recognizes the Eagles winning the NFC title this year. Only 5,000 of these will ever be made. They are guaranteed to sell out because I know when we did this 5 years ago, those things, people were calling me after the game begging to get these. They're priced at $119 each. And in a moment, I'll give out a toll-free number and a website how you can get your hands on these. But I know coming into the show this week, we were probably closing in on the halfway mark of being sold out. So when I give out that phone number and website, I do urge people, do this sooner than later because you'll be left out. Now, everything on the footballs, on the panels, the various panels are embossed. It's a nice way of keeping all the statistics and the logos and the photos of a couple of the players on there pristine looking for years to come. They won't fade from the sunlight. You'll get an individually numbered certificate of authenticity. The top panel on the football has the Eagles official logo, stadium history from Lincoln Financial Field right there, championship history. Some of the things that have happened in the franchise going back to 1933 are all on that panel. The panel right below that is a recap of the 2022 regular season and postseason with opponents, scores, and dates listed in chronological order. So you'll be able to see exactly years from now and remember how this fantastic season unfolded. And then the last panel has features the NFC Championship logo there, very colorful. We have the Super Bowl logo, Super Bowl 57 in the Roman numerals there. We also have an action image of two of the players, Jalen Hurts and also A.J. Brown, with their statistics. So it's a really good-looking panel. We hope to be able to, and I certainly hope so, that we can update it and say Super Bowl champions that will be put in italic on that panel. So here's how you can go ahead and make sure you don't get left out. There's two ways to do this. The toll-free number is 1-800-345-2868, 1-800-345-2868. you can't get through the phone lines, don't panic. Go right to the website. You can order it there, NICOsports.com, NIKCOsports.com. That's NIKCOsports.com. Or that hotline number again, 1-800-345-2868. And like I mentioned, a portion of the proceeds will be donated to the Eagles Autism Foundation. And I know Nico Sports, Josh, just in the last, 4 or 5 years, and I know you guys are a big part of that, we have raised over $3.1 million for charity. So a big shout out to your audience, your staff, yourself, for contributing to that huge amount that we've raised.
And let me tell you so, folks, I remember when we talked with you, Bob, back when the Eagles were in their last Super Bowl and how beautiful those footballs are. I got to tell you, Bob, I think these footballs this time are even more spectacular to look at. I think you guys have upped your game because, I mean, the look of these balls is so incredible. I can only imagine somebody being like, I need this in my man cave, Bob. I need this in my house or in my office or something, because this is a beautiful item.
Well, you're so right, Josh. I had somebody come into my man cave and I've been in sports for like over 40 some odd years as either a broadcaster or sports writer, or 10 years with the Chicago Cubs in their front office with Dallas Green as his assistant. And I've got a pretty extensive man cave. I had a prototype of this Eagles football sent to me. It arrived just today, and I put it down in my man cave just to kind of show it off to some people coming over prior to the Super Bowl. And I'm checking everybody out because I think somebody's going to walk out with it. I've had a lot of good compliments on it.
I love to hear that. And of course,
I got the cameras up on everybody.
That's good. Well, you need that sometimes. Bob, it's also because the baseballs you sent were such a great symbol of the ballpark and the Phillies' history.
Yeah.
And really, these footballs, you're raising money for Eagles charities, for autism, but what you're doing is you're giving something to the fans. Like you said, not everybody's going to be able to pay $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 to go to the game, but this is the next best thing. Bob, we got about 30 seconds left, so plug the number on the website one more time so folks get their hands on these footballs.
Okay. There's only 5,000 of them made, officially licensed for Super Bowl 57, and the Eagles ball is just amazing. The toll-free number to order these, they're $119 each. You'll get them to you by the end of April, early May. 1-800-345-2868, 1-800-345-2868, or just go to the website, NICOsports.com, NIKCOsports.com. Get yourself something that when people walk into your home or office, they'll go, wow, where did you get that football?
Bob, we love what you guys do. We love the fact you're raising money for charity. Great stuff, my friend. We'll talk again soon, and go Birds, right?
Go Birds. Listen, my heart's in Philly, and I hope Mr. Hertz gets the job done, and everybody's smiling. Everybody's calling it now the Kelsey Bowl. Jason against his brother Travis. It should be interesting.
Absolutely. Bob, great stuff. Take care, my friend.
All right, Josh. Have a good day now.
Josh Hennig back here on Game Night 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank. As promised, coming up on the other side, it is a Football Friday, and it wouldn't be the final Football Friday of the season if Andy McNamara didn't join us for some picks, some keys to the game, and more coming up next here on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig hanging out with you till the Sixers play the Knicks tonight. Will the Sixers get their revenge? Find out when Tom McGinnis calls all the action tonight at 7 p.m.
It's Sixers basketball tonight on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the 76ers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Here's Tyrese Maxey on the drive, underhand scoop, he got it.
The Sixers host the New York Knicks. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Philadelphia 76ers basketball on your radio home of the Sixers in South Jersey, 97.3 ESPN.
Listen up, South Jersey football fans. Are you interested in solar? Want a free roof? EMT Solar and Roofing has you covered. Visit ESPNsolar.com to see if your home qualifies for a free roof with solar installation. Don't wait, act now. Start saving thousands and virtually extinguish your electric bill. ESPNSolar.com is the place to go for your roofing or solar needs. No commitments, no hidden fees. Go to ESPNSolar.com to see if you qualify.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, proud partner of the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles. Join us to watch the Eagles in the big game. Nobody does it like Chickies and Pete's. Enjoy one of our big game, all-you-can-eat packages that include guaranteed seating and immediate entry. Feast on our mouth-watering snow crab legs and Chickies and Pete's favorites like mussels, shrimp, world-famous crab fries, Chickies wings, and more. Plus, ice-cold draft beer and house wines. Space is limited. Reserve now at chickiesandpete's.com/big game. Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, proud partner of your Philadelphia Eagles. Let Chickies cater your big game celebration. Enjoy our ultimate to-go catering. It's everything you want to watch the game. Full pan of Chickies wings, half pan of classic cheesesteaks, 2 pizzas, and of course, a full pan of our world-famous crab fries, all wrapped up and ready to go. Click chickyandpete's.com/big game to reserve your ultimate to-go package. Nobody does Eagles game day like Chickies and Pete's.
By now, you know that sound. It's the sound of the Home Depot. But what about those sounds? Those are the sounds of a new Samsung laundry set with extra large capacity, serving up a powerful yet gentle clean in just 28 minutes. Making this the sound of savings on the best appliance brands. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Get up to 25% off select appliances, including Samsung. Ends March 1st. Pricing valid February 9th through March 1st, 2023. Gas Dry Extra, U.S. only. See store or online for details.
And now, a poem for all you lovebirds out there. Getting down on getting down. Some cars are red, others are blue. Trade in your old car and drive something new.
Fall in love with your new Nissan at Matt Blatt Nissan with 0% financing for 36 months, 0 payments for 45 days, and 0 money down.
Oh yeah, it's on at Matt Blatt Nissan.
So bring any trade because AJ, the trade man, wants to buy your vehicle today, regardless of the make, miles, or condition. AJ pays cash. Then treat yourself to a brand new Nissan Altima, Pathfinder, or Rogue, all with 0 down, 0 payments, 0 interest. And only Matt Blatt Nissan has a 4-day love it or leave it return policy. MattBlattNissan.com. Rate qualifications exist with approved credit $27.78 per thousand. Finance not in stock 2023 Rogues. Pathfinder Ultima. Not all will qualify. Go to MattBlattNissan.com for complete details or call 844-917-4758. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes. VIN PC 739900. Rogue S. MSRP 31,185. Doc 589. Sell price 31,774. Expires 3/3/23. It's on at Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township.
With PatriotSoftware.com. Accounting and payroll. Keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur. While starting my first of 5 successful businesses, I foolishly did my own accounting. I stuck the more difficult tax forms in a drawer for later, which caused the tax man to cometh. That little mistake took an entire team of accountants weeks to prevent the tax man from clubbing me. Moral of this story? Use Patriot's accounting software because it's easy, and tell your accountant to use the same accounting software you use. Then, if the tax man cometh, you'll be the one holding the club. Go to PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of accounting software free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
PatriotSoftware.com. Accounting and payroll. Keep your time and money.
Hey, y'all, this is your girl, Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
South Jersey Gas is your energy efficiency partner, helping you lower your utility bills and use less energy. Conserve, our free online energy efficiency resource, offers easy, helpful tips anyone can use to save energy and money. And check out our money-saving solutions, such as rebates and discounts and free weatherization programs for income-qualified customers to help you use less and save more. Visit southjerseygas.com/conserve. With South Jersey Gas and Conserve, using less is really more. Together, we can commit to conserve.
Why would someone looking for a mortgage at the Jersey Shore take a loan from a company in Detroit or North Carolina or some other far-off place? Online mortgages promise a lot but don't always deliver. First Bank of Sea Isle City knows the Jersey Shore. We are local lenders. We use local appraisers and provide in-house processing. We understand the unique obstacles of financing in Cape May County. Don't take a chance. Local banking is better. Let us guide you. First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Josh Hennig having technical difficulties because I tried to play a song there. Usually you come back with like a bumper song, you hit the button, and it keeps telling me it's unavailable. So you know what? Never mind. We can do without it here on a Football Friday, being brought to you by Jenkins and Sons. Jenkins will answer the phone when you call, unlike the button on the music player here in the studio. Jenkins has got you covered, but they got you covered instead of music for new heating and air installation, service and maintenance, ductless air conditioning systems, water heaters, boilers, gas furnace, leak repairs, whatever you need, just call 609-641-6262 or visit them online at jenkinsandsons.com. Another person I know who's much more reliable than the music board here in the studio is Andy McNamara. He's back for the final Football Friday of this NFL season. And Andy, it's the teams with the same number of wins, the same points scored, and the two top finalists for MVP. How you feeling today, Andy?
Boy, I was going to say I could sing you a Rihanna song as a bumper back in if you like. Would that help? Would that help? Umbrella, Ella. No, no good.
Now, I don't know why, but I don't hear Andy at all. So, Andy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you good. Yeah.
All right. So I think it's an issue with this channel. So this might be beyond technical. So let's try this again. How about now?
Hello. You got me?
All right. We solved the problem.
Yeah.
So
I made a funny quip and everything, Josh.
Well, there's probably. Can you serve it up again? I don't know.
Absolutely. I said, hey, instead of the bumper music, I could sing you some Rihanna coming in. You see a tie-in with the Super Bowl. You see it's meshing together. Wordplay.
As long as it's not a slow mesh, we're okay.
Umbrella, Ella, let's go. Which song is she playing first? Let's talk props. Umbrella plays plus 900 for Umbrella to go first. Just
what's the bet for diamonds?
Ooh, diamonds plus 400.
That's probably what I would go with, honestly, if we're talking props.
The favorite is Don't Stop the Music at a measly plus 150.
See, I don't think that's the first one.
I don't think
I'd be surprised at the first one because here's the thing with Rihanna. Rihanna is nothing but an individual who feels her music. Like, if you ever seen her do any performances ever, like if you so for those of us who watch Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and if you watch like the behind the scenes, Rihanna did no music for like almost 6 years, basically.
Right.
That basically, she ran into Ryan Coogler, the director of Wakanda Forever. He told her like, we're working on it. And she says, well, I'd be interested in being involved. And he was like, all right, great. And he sent her like the synopsis of the movie. And she was like, I'm going to the studio. I'll be back, and that's literally how the song Lift Me Up came about. So,
wow.
She is an individual who has to feel her music. And I don't feel like Please Don't Stop the Music is the way she wants to open her vibe. I feel like her vibe has a little more depth to it than that.
If you want the two longest shots, the three are Love on the Brain, Take a Bow, and Who's That Chick? There you go.
Take a Bow is interesting.
Feels more of an ender. Take a bow. No, but you want to end hot though too. I don't know.
Well, that's why I think Please Don't Stop the Music might be the last song.
That might be the last one. And there's over under 8.5 is the line I've seen on songs played. No, not full songs, of course, but like how they do it. I'd say the over. I think she tries to hit a bunch. 8.5 is the line.
What are the odds on that?
The favorite over is the favorite minus 200. Under is plus 150. 8.5.
I would just go over just because it's a half. You know what I mean? It's not. I mean, we have seen Super Bowls where they get like 10, 11 songs in there, and people are still complaining. You forgot this song. So
yeah. I think the over.
All right, so we're going to do something really quick here because I promised I would do this. So for the first time ever, I'm going to reveal my keys to the game with Andy for the segment. All right. So
I'm excited.
So every week, for those who've been listening to GameNight, I give my 3 keys to the game. All right. And Andy's going to react to each one. Okay. All right. And then we'll get you some deeper picks and all that kind of stuff, But we had to get the Rihanna out of the way first because apparently the music board wasn't working for me today. So my first key to the game is Steve Spagnuolo versus Jalen Hurts. The quarterbacks aren't playing each other. It's offense versus defense, folks. All right. Spagnuolo practically shut down the Brady 2007 Patriots offense. He won another Super Bowl a couple of years ago with the Chiefs. A lot of people, Andy, feel like this is a big game coordinator. And to me, the key to this game is what do the Eagles do with what Spags throws at them? Because he's going to throw them something.
Right.
I don't know if it's a curveball. I don't know if it's a fork ball. I don't know what it is, but he's throwing something out there that's going to make them flinch. And the key is going to be, how do the Eagles respond to that?
Yeah. Well, and the big question, too, is how does Jalen Hurts as a whole respond? We know for Patrick Mahomes, he's had both Super Bowl experiences. He's gone and won. He's gone and lost. So he's experienced the full gamut of what to expect and the emotions and the feelings that go through it. First time for Jalen Hurts, right? We've seen guys come out, freeze up. I don't think Jalen Hurts is made up that way, but you never know till it goes out. Or, you come out and you ball out, right? So I feel, and I'm totally with you, they're going to throw some funky stuff, feel them out a little bit, right? But I think the Eagles are so well-rounded with what you can do. Hurts can run. Sanders can run. Boston Scott can run. Gainwell you can toss in there. Then you got, of course, the receivers. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert. Hurts himself as a weapon. So they're so diverse that while Spagnuolo is going to be cooking some stuff up, I feel as long as Hurts can keep his wits about him and, obviously the Eagles play callers well, you can adapt to that. So I don't think it's going to be a case where, let's say you go the other way and it's like, well, if Mahomes' foot wasn't as good as it was and it was only Travis Kelce, well, you take away Kelce and you're done. It's not going to be that simple.
Right. The thing with the Eagles is, I was talking with former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver, and he's a local graduate from high school down here, Dave Klemick. And Klemick was explaining that to him, the big issue for the Chiefs is that the Eagles are not one or two things. The Chiefs are one or two things. The Eagles have A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith and Quez Watkins to get you over the top, and Dallas Goedert and Miles Sanders and this great offensive line. So for you, Andy, what player on the Eagles offense, not named Jalen Hurts, are you looking at and you're like, you know what? If the Eagles win this game, it's because of this guy.
I keep coming back to Dallas Goedert, Josh. I keep coming back to Dallas Goedert. And it just seems like if you want to take away, we know how dynamic A.J. Brown is. Same with Devonta Smith, right? And so it seems to me, if you're looking to target and take away those big plays, who's more consistent? And he's not just a catch and fall down guy, Dallas Goedert, of course, but who's sure-handed, can move the chains, can give you that bit of athleticism, who can be that body in the end zone, little corner toss, right? Go up and get it. I think Dallas Goedert could be the X factor in this game. If you look to take away the stars and you look to that go-to, because sometimes that happens in games, right? It's like, okay, who's my safety net? Boom, boom, and you're tossing it down. I think Dallas Goedert could be that guy for the Eagles.
Which gets you to my second key to this game. Talking with Andy McNamara on a Football Friday, thanks to Jenkins and Sons Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Andy, you mentioned the Eagles offense. The other part of that offense is, how do they handle Chris Jones? And I've heard a lot of different opinions about Jones. Now, my eyes say, Andy, that Chris Jones this year is what Aaron Donald was last year. He's having that kind of impact.
Yeah.
The problem is that Aaron Donald went up against the Bengals offensive line last year. Yeah. Chris Jones is going up against offensive line that has at minimum 2 future Hall of Famers on it. And if Joe Thomas getting the Hall of Fame is any precedent, I think it's pretty fair to say that Lane Johnson and Jason Kelce are going to be easy entries at this point. But back to the Eagles, does Chris Jones have an impact on this game? If he does, I think this is a low-scoring field goal game. If he doesn't, I think the Eagles are going to turn this into a shootout.
Right. And I got my autographed Joe Thomas picture behind me. By the way, Hall of Famer, Joe.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. Yes. But the thing is, and you made a great point. The Eagles' offensive line is better. And as great a year as Chris Jones is having and what a havoc creator he can be, again, I think the Eagles are diverse enough. If I go back to this, if Jalen Hurts can stay composed, and we don't know until we see it, I think he will. He's been a big game, but if he stays composed and doesn't start freaking out, then you have all the abilities to neuter Chris Jones to a certain degree. You got the RPOs, you have the toss, you have the quick pass that you can make. You have options where you can get the ball out of your hand in a variety of areas before Chris Jones gets to you. So if he finds a weak spot in the O-line, finds whatever, finds a spot, I think the Eagles could still adapt. Like, I'm not saying he's not going to make an impact and get a sack or something, but I don't see him being the same type of game wrecker because of how diverse and the variety of options that this Eagles offense has.
The other interesting thing is, where do they line Jones up? Because we know that he's technically a defensive tackle, but we've seen him get moved up and down the line.
Yeah.
And there's one thing we know about the Eagles. The Eagles offensive line have two different guys. Actually, it's three. They have three guys in their O-line who all weigh more than Chris Jones. And Dickerson and Mailata are both either as tall, if not taller, than Jones. The only guy that Jones can legitimately move around on the line is probably Sayamalu, but even that's not like a guarantee because Sayamalu is, Isaac Sayamalu is? Isaac Sayamalu is the football version of Adam Dunn. He either hits a home run or he strikes out. And every play, if you sit down and break down Eagles O-line tape, that's what Isaac Sayamalu is. He either has this amazing block or he gets like knocked on his rear and has to get back up and find somebody else to block.
Well, here's the thing, though. And that size comparison, I think I haven't heard that talked about at all, Josh. So I think that's a terrific point.
You're only getting that on this show, baby.
Get on Game Night, baby. ESPN 97.3. What's up? Let's go. Go Birds. So yeah, but it's a great point because, okay, if you got this big guy, Chris Jones, so what I expect them to do is do what smart defensive coordinators do. Take your best weapons, move it around. So try them out a bunch of spots. One place doesn't work, keep moving. But if you find that weak point, then still the Eagles do have, running backs that can stay in and pass protect. It's not going to be Kenneth Gainwell, but it could be Boston Scott, it could be Miles Sanders, right? You have options to be able to help them. You can chip with an extra tight end. If you find that spot and he finds O-lineman X, and for whatever reason, he's got his number that day. Okay. Well, give him a little help. Solve. Boom.
My third key to the game, we're going to switch sides now. So remember 2 weeks ago when you and I were talking about the Bengals and Chiefs game, and we were talking about how with Mahomes, we want to test to see how that ankle is. Yeah. Well, obviously the ankle is not 100%, but we saw that he was able to move enough, right? So my thing is the Eagles need to play containment with Mahomes. I felt like the key to the Chiefs against the Bengals was when the Bengals realized Mahomes could move just enough to make yards down the field. I think that's when they started getting out of their game plan. Mm-hmm. I think if the Eagles say, look, we're going to get pressure on Mahomes, we're going to move him off his spot, but we're not going to let him run away from us. I think that might be an opportunity to force Mahomes to hold the ball. And as you know, Andy, the longer you hold the ball, the easier it is for the defense to get you.
Yep. And I think the Eagles have to follow the blueprint that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did when they had Patrick Mahomes. Remember that behind the line of scrimmage diagram, Josh? I'll never forget it. Looked like a preschooler color with a crayon. He ran for, what was it? It was like legit, like 200 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It was ridiculous. They contained. So he was contained. He was moving, but he wasn't escaping. And so that's the blueprint you have to follow. And you do that by getting the initial pressure with that front line, with that front D line. You do that, then you're able to still have the corners and safety cover. You have the linebackers mix and match a little bit. And you're not, if you all out blitz, we all know, if you all out blitz and you send the house on Patrick Mahomes, he'll beat you every time. You're not getting him. He'll wait, he'll sidestep you, and then there's a guy 20 yards down the field and you're cooked. So that's the key. You get that pressure, you contain him, like you said, and get him, keep him moving. Let's see if we can get that ankle rolling and, something happens and he becomes less mobile.
When you think about the Chiefs offense, tell me the guy not named Kelsey or Mahomes that could have the biggest impact on this game in your mind.
I'll tell you this, Judge. This comes back to me, and I'm feeling Jerick McKinnon. And maybe it's more so on my betting field that I want to put an anytime touchdown at plus 175 on him. That might be it. However, I subscribe to this. I'm not good at math, but I subscribe to this formula. Opportunity equals success. Now, with that Eagles, with that nasty defense, what do you want to do? You want to have Jerick McKinnon, the best pass protector in that backfield, back there. I don't think it's going to be a big day for Isaiah Pacheco at all. I think McKinnon's going to be there. And what that means is, of course, is that, McKinnon's on the field. So maybe it's not a design play to him, but maybe it's your third, fourth check down. Uh-oh, trouble. Dink, dunk, go. So I think, and we saw at the end of this year, this isn't a, pie in the sky, never happened before. We saw end of the year, the last few weeks, McKinnon started to be a go-to and get into the end zone. And if that Eagles defense, which I think they will get that pressure, get to Mahomes quick, you got to dump it quick. You don't have Tyreek Hill anymore. So who are you going to throw it to? Might be the running back.
The only reason why I'm not 100% sold on McKinnon is because the Chiefs have been running the ball more recently, and I think that it might be the only way they can neutralize the Eagles' pass rush, because the Eagles legit rotate 8 dudes on that line, and it's a lot easier to wear a pass rush down if you're running them backwards than if you're just, dump off, because you know what happens? One of those dump offs is not going to go well. Someone's going to step in there for an interception and run it back.
Yeah, definitely. And here's the thing, though. They've been trying to run the ball, certainly not dominant at it. And Pacheco's been fine. He's good. Not great. Not a world, he's no Nick Chubb. He's not a world breaker, nothing like that. So it's like, if the Eagles can contain
coming
that
from the Browns fan, of course.
Of course, I got to throw that in. If Pacheco isn't going to go off, and he can be held back, which I think is a very real possibility. That again makes them more one-dimensional. Look, the key to this game, we know on offense, and it always has been this year for the Chiefs, is it's Travis Kelce and it's the improv ability and creativity of Patrick Mahomes, who can make anybody around him somebody. We're going to get some weird anytime touchdown play to some guy off of special teams, and we're going to be all mad that he would have hit at plus 1,000 or something. Because if he's extending, he's running around, some dude gets open and it's down the field. That's where your money is when it is the Chiefs. It's Mahomes' creativity / X factor and Travis Kelce. And everything else is just kind of a circumstance of what happens in the moment. Whereas the Eagles, again, we go back to it. You could go down. You have it much more structured, and that is much trickier for a defense.
All right, I'm just going to give you 4 names real quick. You tell me which long shot, anytime touchdown you like better.
Okay.
Is it Boston Scott 450, Quez Watkins plus 600, Justin Watson, the backup tight end at plus 550, or is it the other backup tight end, Noah Gray, at plus 800?
Oh, boy. Gee. Justin Watson has had some go-tos a little bit, right? Like, I kind of, if it was against the Giants, we know we're going Boston Scott. That's free money.
That's true.
That's free money. That's free money. I kind of, just for the good times, I'm going to put it on Boston Scott. I'm feeling kind of that Justin Watson. Like there's always, but like the Quez Watkins too. Like there's always in a Super Bowl, Josh, there's always that one guy that you're like, oh man, you needed this. And it's like, come on. And it's that guy. So it could be any one of them. I'm going to say, if I have to pick one of them, I'll go Justin Watson, but I'm getting a feel. It's very close with Quez Watkins as well for me.
Who are your favorite Super Bowl MVP odd options?
I think Travis Kelce, if I'm not going obvious with quarterback, right? Because if we're looking, it's probably not going to be a defender. That's a real long shot. That never happens. Like, I guess it could, right? It's rare, very rare.
Should have happened last year.
Yeah, it should. Exactly. And if it didn't last year, how's it going to happen this year? Right. So if we're wiping defense off, which we probably should, then we're looking, all right. If it's not a quarterback, I think the only real dominant, pure go-to guy who can wreck a game with volume is Travis Kelce, because like we've talked about a bunch today, the variety of the Eagles makes it so that you don't have to throw it 17 times to A.J. Brown. You could, but you probably won't, and you can spread it around. So I think non-quarterback, the best option is Travis Kelce.
I'm going to go somebody else who I think is a really good option. And he's very low in the odds. You know, he's not a guy that people are going to look at. But here's the deal. I think there's a real chance that Dallas Goedert goes off in this game. Ooh. People forget that Dallas Goedert, before that weird injury thing he dealt with near the end of the season, he had multiple 6+ catch games. And in those games, he didn't score a touchdown only because if you look at the way those games played out, he didn't really have an opportunity to catch touchdowns. If this game gets into the red zone, are you really think that Jalen Hurts is going Devonta Smith on a fade route against the Chiefs team that's going to bring the pressure up in his face? Or do you think he's going to have an opportunity to roll to his right and drop it off to somebody for a touchdown?
Look, that's what we talked about with your first point of the game. When I said Dallas Goedert, same mind. Absolutely. It makes so much sense. That reliable option that won't be the first look for the Kansas City defense. They're not going to be going in specifically. It's like, okay, Dallas, all their attention on Dallas Goedert. So that makes a lot of sense to me. And if I'm looking, I think that's a plus 5,500 for MVP.
It is.
Ooh, boy. You know what? I'm going to put a couple bucks down on him just because. Travis Kelce plus 1,200, pretty good.
The other one I would look at is Devonta Smith, because we've seen multiple games this year where he has become like the safety valve because people overplay Brown and Goddard. And I think that, Devonta has shown himself to be a big game player at multiple levels. And if Jalen Hurts and his relationship means anything, right? I think that Devonta, a guy who is somebody who could be very dangerous. He also has had a lot of big games this year, not just big games. Andy, he's had multiple games with a touchdown and at least 8 targets in those games. So you got to think about a lot of the games getting touchdowns. He's seeing the ball come his way.
Yep. And he's the type of guy too that can get that big chunk play, right? Like you get like a 75-yarder to add to those stats as well. You can have that, but you don't necessarily need again, like the 10+ catches. He can make those big chunk gains. That makes sense there. AJ Brown's plus 1,800. I'm not feeling AJ Brown as it. I think that is going to be more of a focus. So I don't feel him for it. Anything longer than that, you're just kind of guessing.
All right, we got less than a minute left. Andy, give me your game pick. Who's going to win and why?
Okay, I got Eagles 27-24. So I think the defenses play well, but the offenses are so good they're going to get some. And I feel it's because of the variety of the offense for the Eagles. Okay, we went through it. You go through the list of offensive options that they have. Jalen Hurts is going to finally prove what we've been saying before he was drafted, Josh, and that was this guy's a big-time player and an underrated passer. I think Jalen Hurts does win the MVP, and I think a large part of it comes to his arm, and it's a coming-out party. He sticks it to everybody else who said he couldn't pass the damn football. I think he does it that way. The defenses are going to be good. They're going to make Patrick Mahomes run around. Mahomes that ankle's going to be fine, and they're going to be right down to it. But I think it's going to be Eagles, what I say, 27-24, field goal right at the end. It's going to be close. This is such an evenly matched game. Vegas knows, man. They don't have it at 1.5 for no reason.
He's Andy McNamara. Follow him on Twitter at AndyMC81. Andy, we ended the week on the high note. Thank you, my friend.
Oh, anytime, brother. Listen, Eagles fans, I'm so excited for you guys. If it can't be my Browns, I might wear a little green this weekend for you.
Ooh, a little green.
Little green.
A little green while you drink your whiskey, right?
Well, of course. No, I'm not putting it in my whiskey.
Take care, my friend.
All right, buddy. Go Birds!
Wrapping up the show here. Great stuff from Andy McNamara. Josh Hennig, my final pick. I got the Eagles winning as well. I tend to agree with Andy. Vegas doesn't usually put these random numbers out there. So I'm going to lean into what the wise guys, the sharps, tend for this game. I'm going to go Eagles win. I'm going to go 27-24. Jake Elliott wins it on a field goal. Eagles are champs. I'll begin with Billy Schwein this Sunday in the locker room. Of course, Mike Gill will be back on Monday for the Sports Bash. Sixers basketball next.
Health update with Robin Stoloff. Learn more, live better.
It looks like an overgrown beach ball, but it's actually one of the most versatile and affordable fitness tools around. Stability or fitness balls can help us improve our